Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's take on The Dead Don't Die, starring Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Steve Buscemi, Selena Gomez, and Tilda Swinton, and a cast of thousands in a movie that was kind of disappointing. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash, liking, and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 16, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Come here, Joe. I hear you griping back there. You're ruining the whole show. Anyhow, as always, I'll give you my non-spoiler review, and then my spoiler review. All right, non-spoiler. Jim Jarmusch directs this thing, and Jarmusch has this weird sort of style where he puts in a bunch of characters and you get to know him a little bit. And the problem with that format for this movie is it doesn't really work. You get to know some of the characters, and then you have to have a scene where they have to fight or become zombies, and it just doesn't work. There's not enough time to flesh out the many characters he introduces, and Danny Glover, Carol Kane. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's a crazy cast. Chloe Sevigny, Iggy Pop plays a zombie. Tom Waits plays the hermit. But there's so many characters and so many story threads. It just doesn't come together. And he even does a few things towards the end that just, you go, what? Really? I really hated the ending. The ending might have been able to save it if you had pushed the concept off a cliff. But no, it did not work at all for me. So I cannot recommend this movie at all. I would give it maybe a 3 out of 10. I know, right? And I love zombie movies. I will say this. The reason I give it that high a score at all is because the zombies are amazing. His portrayal of the zombies, spot on. They're slow, shambling. They lunge at you. They only get you when there's too many of them. And the zombies attempt to do the things they did in life. So that part of the movie I loved. I love that portrayal of the zombies. It's the humans I have a huge problem with. They don't seem to be doing the smart things, and you always have to play your characters at the height of their intelligence. But I can't get into the nitty-gritty details until I get into the spoilers. So spoilers ahoy. Here's the spoilers. All right, so first act, and I'm not going to remember everything in this movie because there's just too many damn characters, but the first act goes on forever before we see a zombie. I mean, literally forever. It's Bill Murray and Adam Driver, two small-town cops in Centerville, wherever, doing their job and being boring as F. And there's a diner everybody goes to, and the coffee's amazing. Danny Glover's goes there. It's a small town. It's a small town. So then you see on the news that companies are doing what's called polar fracking, and that's shifted the Earth's axis and caused problems. It's caused weather all across the world. It's caused the day to last longer, and it causes the dead to come back to life. It's not a particularly bad premise, but the execution, it's forever. It's literally forever. And they set up all these characters that you think there's going to be a giant payoff, but he takes forever getting to it. So then in the second act, you finally see Iggy Pop and his girlfriend crawl out of a grave, but for some reason it's just those two, and they kill the waitress and the cleaning lady at the diner. Okay, then I thought, okay, we're off to the races here. Now all the zombies are going to start popping up everywhere. Nope. The rest of the zombies don't come until later, until towards the end of the second act. Really in the beginning of the third act. it doesn't ramp up very evenly at all. It goes back to the other characters for a long time. And Adam Driver says the moment he sees the dead bodies, oh, it's zombies. And no one has a reason to believe him. No one. Not Bill Murray, who instantly believes it and signs on board, and not anybody else in the movie. But they instantly accept that, okay, they're zombies, and then they start arming up. Not that it does them any good, because the guys at the hardware store, which is Danny Glover and a guy who runs the gas station slash, I don't know what you'd call it, comic book store, a horror shop. They get trapped in there. They board up the front door, but somehow these slow lumbering zombies who just repeat whatever they did in life decide, oh, well, we'll go to the back door. How did they figure that out? That didn't make any sense to me. So, and there's an opportunity at one point in the movie for Bill Murray and Adam Driver and the other deputy, played by Chloe Zlatan, I can't say her last name, to attempt to save them, and they don't. They just say, all right, we'll drive away. Okay. And then Tilda Swinton has the oddest role. She plays the funeral parlor director, who seemingly knows what's going on, who also is Scottish and also pretends to practice the sword as in samurai sword. So she's putting the makeup on some dead bodies. They wake up. She cuts their heads off, marches through town, cutting off the heads of zombies very easily, gets to the police station, instantly volunteers to monitor the police station while the police have no plan, just take off in their car. And she instantly gets on the computer and starts typing a bunch of stuff, and it turns out she's summoning a flying saucer. It makes no sense. Then Bill Murray, for some reason, goes to the cemetery, the worst place you could go, where the majority of the zombies are, and gets stuck with his car because he gets a bunch of zombies caught underneath the front of his car, which that point was realistic, but we don't see it. And then the deputy, the middle deputy there, the character's name is Mindy, basically just decides to kill herself when she sees undead grandma. She can't take it anymore, just climbs out of the car to be eaten by zombies. And Bill Murray and Adam Driver manage to lock the doors. So then the climax of the movie is Tilda Swinton has summoned the flying saucer and goes to the cemetery for some reason to be picked up. And she marches through the cemetery, killing a couple of zombies. They don't seem to bother her all that much. And when that happens, Adam Driver and Bill Murray have an opportunity to get out of the car and run away. They do not. Now, Adam Driver, through the entire movie, keeps saying, this isn't going to end well. And finally, Bill Murray demands to know why. And Adam Driver turns to him and said, oh, I read the script. Breaking the fourth wall. Basically telling him, oh, I've read the script for this movie that we're in. Okay. Weird, but it didn't really work for me. Characters have been breaking the fourth wall for a long time. That just comes out of nowhere. It felt very lazy. So, rather than escape, Bill Murray and Adam Driver meet their fate battling the zombies in the cemetery, rather than, for instance, at the hardware store where they could have saved 2 other people and then had 5 people to fight the zombies. There's also another subplot with Austin, what's his face? The guy who played Elvis before he was famous. Austin, I want to say Peterson, is that his last name? And Selena Gomez and another guy who's just traveling through the town. And they spend time establishing their characters, having them come into town, check into a motel. We get to know them just a little bit, and then the next time we see them, they're all dead. The hotel manager gets bit and then kills them all. Or maybe the zombies do. I don't know. So, yeah. What the F, man? And let me tell you something. The pacing couldn't be more slow. This movie is an hour 44. Felt like 17 hours. The only thing that keeps it off is A, the zombies are very good. Carol Kane is a zombie, by the way. Almost steals the entire movie with her scene. And Iggy Pop, too. Great zombies. But it's not enough to carry the movie. There's entertaining moments, but it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. I think what he was going for was sort of like a Repo Man vibe, where everything's just really weird, man. Yeah, it's just not that weird. You can't make the small town stuff really work and make it weird. You got to make them small town characters who are freaking weird. Oh, and I almost forgot. Steve Buscemi plays the jerk, and guess what he's wearing on his head? You guessed it, a red hat that says "Make America White Again." Like, he's so overtly a Trump supporter, it's painful to watch. And of course, everybody hates him. No one wants to save him, including Bill Murray, the sheriff of the town. And then he dies in a scene and later comes back and Bill Murray shoots him in the face. Wow, what a political commentary, Jarmusch. Jesus. Every concept in this movie felt like I was being hit in the face by a 2x4. This concept, and at the end of the movie, there's this weird monologue about consumerism done by Tom Waits, who plays Bob the Hermit, who basically survives. He's the only one that survives because he's a hermit and lives out in the woods like the animals. And this weird monologue about consumerism and associating the zombies with consumerism. Well, first off, Jarmusch, that's been done. It was called Day of the Dead, the original version of the movie that takes place in a mall. Dawn of the Dead. I guess that was Dawn of the Dead. The one that takes place in a mall. The original one. Not the newer one with the running zombies, but the original one. And it made a great statement on consumerism because the characters were trapped in a mall and they show you the zombies walking around while light jazz music plays. And that was more than enough to get the point across. Oh, these people are just like the people who shop at a mall. Jarmusch does a little bit of that too, with a zombie walking around with his smartphone going Wi-Fi. And it's not unfunny, but holy cow, man. Did you personally hit every audience member over the head with a baseball bat during this movie? Terrible script. Just terrible, in my view. Or I guess you could chalk it up to the pacing and direction. I don't even know why you bothered to hire Selena Gomez at all. Her character adds nothing. Literally nothing. Everybody she interacts with dies. What was the point of even seeing her? None of it comes together. None of it. It's just everybody dies. Pointlessly. Dumbly. And I cannot stress enough, you have to play characters at the height of their intelligence. So if Adam Driver is savvy enough, halfway in the movie, the moment he sees dead bodies, not even a zombie, he sees dead bodies and goes, oh, that's zombies. If he's that savvy, why isn't he savvy enough to do any basic strategic maneuvers to avoid the zombies? Like, the basic strategic maneuver would have been to help the guys in the hardware store escape, so they could team up, so you would have 5 people with guns. Why wouldn't you start going house to house, killing the zombies before they get in such numbers they overwhelm you? Why would you go to the worst place in town? And this is a small town. In fact, it's on the sign at the beginning of the movie. I believe the population was 783. It would be possible for 5 people, and you would rescue others, because there was 3 juvenile delinquents trapped in the girls' juvenile detention center. I guess you could have eventually saved them. That would have been 8. Maybe Tilda Swinton if she wasn't some sort of Scottish samurai alien. And I believe you could have gotten Tom Waits into the mix as well. You could have gotten about 10 people. I think 10 people could have wiped out the 783 zombies. And I think you would have picked up about a dozen or more people along the way. Before the zombies all got together and killed you. Shaun of the Dead did it much better. Because with Shaun of the Dead, there's a great scene where Shaun's been hearing the news reports in the background since the movie starts, basically. And by the time the zombies have taken over, Shaun walks out to the bodega, and they're just in the background of everything. And he just misses them. In this, it goes from 0 to 60. 1 minute, it's just Bill Murray and Adam Driver in town. The next minute, they're literally all in the streets, and Tilda Swinton has to wade through them. Not good. It's just the execution of this from a pragmatic standpoint was just not good in my view. The blocking is, it just didn't make any sense. You know, once you see a scene like when Iggy Pop and the other zombie kill 2 people in the diner, that's when you expect, okay, now this thing's going to ramp up, right? They're going to get there the next morning. They're not going to find the 2 people they killed because they turned into zombies too and wandered away. Or someone's going to see the zombies. The zombies that killed 2 people in the diner covered in blood and wandered out. Because where are they going to wander to? Part of the problem with the movie is no good map of the town. Didn't really seem to make that clear. So, and when you cut back, for instance, to Selena Gomez and Austin Butler, that's his name, and the other dude, and they're just dead, it's like, well, what happened? We didn't even get to see it. We didn't even get to see the beginning of that. Like, you know, the motel manager becomes a zombie. We didn't get to see a scene where, like, who's at the door? Oh, I think it's a motel manager. Better open it. Something like that, and then cut away. No, they're just dead. You just cut back to Bill Murray, and there's zombies underneath his car, and his car is stuck. It's kind of lame. Especially for a movie that showed every little detail as you were watching it, and then suddenly it's like, well, we don't have time for the details. These were better details than the details you showed me earlier in the movie. Just when Bill Murray and Adam Driver's driving across town, the most boring town in, I don't know where, Centerville, wherever that's supposed to be. I mean, who the hell wanted to see that? Who wants to see a bunch of empty streets? I wanted to see streets filled with zombies. Or a couple of zombies. Yeah, I was expecting a scene in which Bill Murray and Adam Driver come upon one of the zombies and don't know he's a zombie yet, and he's staggering around and is like, hey, you drunk? And then he turns around and they have to kill him. Instead, we waited until Carol Kane finally got up, and she was inside the police station at a time in which it was after the scene where Iggy Pop and his girlfriend crawl out of the grave and kill 2 people. So why did Carol Kane take so long to become a zombie? There's no explanation here. Where's the explanation? Why did Iggy Pop and his girlfriend become zombies, start killing people, but everybody else, they took a little longer? Why? We needed something in the movie to tell us why that was happening. But we got nothing. We got nothing. So I cannot recommend, I can't believe I'm saying this. I cannot recommend this zombie movie. You'd be better off watching the clips. And it's a shame because, my God, the amount of names in this movie is crazy. Did Jim Jarmusch have footage of everybody? What the hell, man? He's got some pull. To get this many names in a zombie movie? Now, some of them didn't have very big parts, so that could be part of the reason, but God, I gotta feel like they were completely wasted in these disjointed scenes that never came together. The thing about a movie like, say, Repo Man, which was super weird, it comes together thematically and philosophically at the end. It all wraps in, all ties in at the end. Nothing ties into the end of this. You got Tilda Swinton leaving in a flying saucer, Bill Murray and Adam Driver dying for no reason, and just about everybody else in the cast dying. And then you give Tom Waits gives a monologue about consumerism. Nah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. We needed, if you were gonna make, you needed more of one group of characters, and I'm not sure which one. So, for instance, if Tilda Swinton's gonna leave in a flying saucer at the end of the movie, we need to know why she was on the planet to begin with, and why the zombies came. So the aliens do it? Okay. Then we needed way more screen time of Tilda Swinton and what her deal was. If not, then she should have been cut out entirely, because that scene was pointless. Selena Gomez, Austin Butler, and a friend, they could also all go. I don't know why they were in the movie. Didn't make any sense. Didn't need them. Most of the movies, Adam Driver and Bill Murray sitting in a car. They needed better dialogue. And the same thing with Chloe, what's-her-face. We needed to know more about their characters and their motivations and whatever. So when Chloe meets her grandma, undead grandma at the end of the movie, we get a real sense of why it's so devastating to her. Now, granted, it would be devastating under any circumstances. However, we should have gotten some wind-up. And really, you probably could have dumped the hardware store characters, because, again, they were Danny Glover and the other guy were pointless too. They might as well have died 5 minutes into the movie. Why'd you hire Danny Glover just to die in the movie? Makes no sense. I learned nothing about his character. Nothing. Other than he couldn't get the simple instruction, kill the head. And they had guns, by the way. The two guys in the hardware store have guns. And instead of using them at the end of their sequence, when the back door is being knocked down and takes a little while for it to go down and bust open, they just stand there. And there's a lot of that in this film. And Tom Waits seems to be the only one who knows what the deal is, kind of. So, don't go see this movie. I cannot recommend not seeing this movie enough. Because I think 99% of you will hate it. There's a 1% of you probably really like zombie makeup, and will probably like it for other reasons that have nothing to do with the screenplay, which I don't know who wrote this screenplay. I gotta know. And RZA is in it too. I mean, everybody's in this damn thing. Oh, Jim Jarmusch wrote it. Yeah, Jim, you got a lot to answer for this movie, dude. You should not have written this. This could have been really good. I mean, the cast you have, it could have been amazing. But you needed some amazing dialogue. Like, you needed these characters to be beyond weird. Not just say, I mean, like Adam Driver's whole shtick is, this isn't going to end well. Like, that was basically his whole character. And Bill Murray gets next to nothing. There's a scene where he says, I was going to retire 2 years ago. Why? Why did you stay? No reason. Nothing. Get nothing. Jim Jarmusch, I say, should never direct a zombie movie again. And that's it for me, Tony D. And Little Joan, somewhere behind me. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I will be at the Mistletoe Mart on Thursday, 2 days from now, in Hamilton, New Jersey. And I will have books. Saturday and Sunday, I'll be at the Unexpected Farm, the Alpaca Farm, from 10 to 2, both days, for a very cold outdoor mart. But, again, no rain. So we should be done with the rain. Maybe the drones made the rain go away. I don't know. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you